difficult to live with.
Green Bay won the toss. Jim Breach will kick it away for Cincinnati. Walter Stanley, Kenneth Davis, Gary Ellerson, all deep for the Packers. Sellout crowd in County Stadium, Milwaukee, and we're underway. Short kick from Breach. Carries back to Davis, stumbled a bit at the 5. And Davis, who will not start today, runs back the kick to the 22 before he's stopped by Leon White. So the Packers will start things off. They have scored the fewest points of any team in the NFC this year. In fact, they've only scored 2 touchdowns, none rushing, and they will start with Randy Wright, who was not greeted too cheerfully when he was introduced to the crowd. Gary Ellerson, Paul Ott-Caruth starting in the backfield. Those are changes. The Ott and Caruth, yes, he is related to the great Mel Ott, the offensive lineman. So here we go. First down for Green Bay, starting at the 22. This is Ellerson, gets to the 25. They have to establish some kind of rushing game. They are last in rushing in the National Football League. The defense for Cincinnati, and they were burned last week by Chicago. Defensively, they start with the front 3 of Tim Crumry, Ross Browner, and Eddie Edwards. Crumry, a native of Wisconsin here, has a big following in the stands. Gave 300 tickets away to hometown fans. King Xander, Barker Williams, some good linebackers. Defensive backs, they start 2 rookies with Billups and Fulcher. 2nd and 7. It's Ellerson again. Some good running room, up for a first down or close to it at the 32. So Green Bay, which doesn't have a single ball carrier, which has rushed for 100 yards this season, let alone 1 game, and they're trying to establish it that way in the early going, Reggie.
They must do that because running gives you control of the football game. They haven't had many favorable 2nd and 3rd down situations because they haven't run the football effectively. And I know Forrest, he believes in a big offensive line, which he has, good strong running from tackle to tackle, and they must do that in order to move this football today on 2nd and 3rd down situations.
So Ellerson did come up shy of the first down. This will be a 3rd and 1 at the 32 for the Packers. This will be an important play to try to instill some confidence early. Wright kept it himself. I wonder if it's a planned play, and I believe he does have the first down.
One thing that Randy Wright needs right now is some confidence. Maybe this will give him some. As you heard the crowd, they cheered him after this quarterback sneak, after he picked up that first down. Good blocking behind Mark Cannon, the center. A very good player. As we said, these are huge people up front for Forrest Gregg.
He made them practice outdoors all week in the rain, even though they have an indoor facility. No mercy for his team. First down at the 34. Pitch back to Ellerson. Picks up good yardage and loses the ball, but it's down at the 37. So Ellerson is the workhorse today, starting in place of the number 2 draft pick, Kenneth Davis. Ellerson, a 2nd-year Badger, home state Wisconsin product.
I want to mention this. The field conditions aren't the best. The ground is soft, particularly in the area of the field where the Packers are right now. It's difficult for the defensive players to get good footing. So I think it's a good idea in here to rush the football because the offense has the advantage on a slippery field.
2nd and 7 at the 37. Reggie Williams nailed them late. The pass is incomplete. And Reggie, your keys to the game for the Green Bay Packers to win this thing this afternoon.
Well, we hit on it just a bit ago. On offense, they must gain 4 to 6 yards on first down by run or pass in order to get those favorable 2nd and 3rd down situations so they can control the football and control the game. And defensively, well, they've got to get to Boomer Esiason. They do not rush the passer well, but they must find a way to do it today. Sacks are important, and maybe they might even blitz, even though Mozilewski doesn't like to do that.
Randy Wright calling out signals. 3rd and 7 at the 37. He has Eddie Lee Ivory in off the injured list. He had a neck injury. He's now back in action as a wide receiver. And intended for Epps. Reed had fallen down as Arnold and Epps were in the same area, but they could not connect, and the Packers will have to punt it away with the rookie Lewis Billups covering on the play.
Here's what concerns me about the Packers. You've got the great James Lofton out there. He's the leading active player in the National Football Conference. They don't get him the football. They don't even look to him. He had a one-on-one situation that time, had beaten his man clearly. If I were right, I'd look for Lofton.
So Don Bracken, who has the worst punting average in the NFC, is in to punt for Green Bay. Bracken standing at his 22. who will punt it away to Mike Martin of Cincinnati. And this is not a poor punt by any stretch. Drives Martin back to the 17, to the 25, and Martin down to the 30, and that's where the Bengals will start when they come out for their first series. Ed Berry out on the tackle. So Boomer Esiason's ready. The Bengals are out on the field. Sun did shine this morning. And Bengals hope that it shines favorably on them. What a tough week. Hard to believe that number 7 could only put up 7 points a week ago. Really shellacked by the Bears. Esiason was benched during the game in favor of Anderson and Gaynor, but he's the quarterback, gets the start. First down to 31 for Cincinnati. And James Brooks, and gets 3 out to the 34. So Esiason the quarterback. Brooks and Bill Johnson starts in place of the injured Larry Kinnebrew. His ankle still hurts him. Collinsworth, Brown, Rodney Holman, the tight end. And that massive offensive line of theirs, Munoz, Kozerski, Remington, Montoya, Blados, they will try to run the ball as they did in that impressive win over Cleveland when Kinnebrew scored the 3 touchdowns. It's a 2nd and 7 at the 34. Brown in motion. Bill Johnson, and continues to fight across the 35. And defensively, the Green Bay Packers with their front 3 as Charles Martin gets the start over Donnie Humphrey along with Carricker and Brown. And a quick offense. And Packers were caught with too many men on the field. That's a Cincinnati trademark. No huddle offense, and there had to be 15 Packers running back and forth in a fire drill before that play was run off.
I think that's terrific. That's heads-up coaching by Sam White. If you're the Green Bay Packers and Forrest Gregg and his staff, you have to be ready for this type of thing. You know Cincinnati does it. They weren't ready. Good move by White and the Bengals.
Let's listen to Dick Hantak, the referee this afternoon.
There's no penalty on the play. Replay, 3rd down.
How about that?
Somebody needs to explain this to me. There are too many men on the field to begin with. Now maybe Esiason put the ball in play before the official touched it and spotted it. I don't know, but Green Bay clearly had more than 11 players on the field.
Sam White on the far side asking for an explanation as well. This is the only stadium in America for professional football where both benches are on the same side of the field. And as we continue to look at the Packer defense, Jeff Shue was a former Cincinnati Bengal who left in a contract dispute. Scott, Dorsey, Noble, pretty fair linebackers. And defensive backs, glad they don't have to deal with Tommy Kramer. They go up those 6 touchdown passes a week ago. Lee, Cade, John L. Sullivan, and Flynn. Of course, Tim Lewis retired with the neck injury.
I think running the football, the Bengals are taking the long way home, Lynn. The Packers are very good against the run. They only give up 2.9 yards a rush. That's best in the league, but they are very porous against the pass. They do not rush the passer well. The linebackers do not cover people well. Look for James Brooks to have a big day against these linebackers of the Green Bay Packers.
Reggie's 3rd and 5 at the 36. 4 wide receivers in for the Bengals. The lone running back is James Brooks. Good protection. Esiason, he can't complete it from Mike Martin. And the Bengals will have to kick it away.
Defensive coordinator Dick Modzelewski of the Packers said, I've got to do one thing. I've got to make Esiason move one way or the other. I can't let him sit in there and throw the football. That time, pretty good pass protection by the Bengals. Good coverage by the Packers. Consequently, change of possession.
Jeff Hayes, who has struggled as well, he's had 2 punts blocked for touchdowns. And that's Walter Stanley deep for the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, who've given up a lot of points, have to be happy that they have held the usually high-scoring Bengals on their first series. And now in another official discussion. They get paid by the second, Reg? And perhaps the most important on the bottom, Paul Trapinski, handling the replays this afternoon.
The Packers commit so many men to that front line. I wouldn't be surprised to see something.
Good high punt this time. Drives Stanley back to his 15. But good coverage by the Bengals. particularly from Joe Kelly, the #1 draft choice, the rookie linebacker, and they stop him right there. So both teams stopped on their first drives. The Packers will give it another shot with Reggie Rucker. 10-16 remain in the scoreless first quarter here. And if you're familiar with our NBC Sports coverage, every 10 minutes we will have the 10-minute ticker to see what's doing around the National Football League. Only field goals being scored thus far early. Touchdowns are tough to come by. Not a touchdown in the National Football League. Houston leads Detroit. So Green Bay with their second series starting first down to 16. They didn't get a first down the first time they had the ball. Cincinnati held without one in their first possession. To Ellerson, and Wright falls on it for 14. Loss of 2.
We've talked about what Green Bay has to do to win this football game. Now, Cincinnati defensively needs to do a couple of things, and I think primary is keep James Lofton and Phil Epps under control. No quick strikes. Do not let those players with that great speed get on the scoreboard and get behind your defense, because if you do, you can't catch them. They're great players. And offensively, play error-free football, a plus turnover ratio, no fumbles, no interceptions.
This will be a 2nd and 12 back at the 14. Caruth in motion. And Ellerson is open. First down at the 30. Ellerson to the 35. Still on his feet to the 47-yard line. Big pickup for Gary Ellerson.
Now, Randy Wright and Gary Ellison and the Packers offense needed this. Good pass play. Here's a back come out of the backfield, gets on the outside very quickly. Ellison's a player who runs the football well after he catches it. You can see his head is upfield all the way, picking and turning his way. Good pass play to Gary Ellison.
And good for 32 yards for the former Badger. So first down at their 46. The Packers get something offensively. Epps in motion. Right, Ellerson's open again. Another first down. All the way down to the Cincinnati 35. Back-to-back right to Ellerson.
Similar play as the one before to Ellison to the left side. Randy Wright is faking the ball into the line of scrimmage. Watch. See, you see number 57 there. He's a linebacker, Reggie Williams. He probably should have pass coverage responsibility, but it looked like a run to him. Therefore, he committed. Ellison's out on the outside all alone. Once again, big play.
Back-to-back plays covering 53 yards. One for 32, one for 21. And it's a first down for Green Bay at the Cincinnati 34. We'll watch this play from the end zone. We'll see it as the defense sees it. They see a sweep. And this is Caruth. And Caruth has a first down to the 22. The famed Packers sweep of old.
Caruth played in the USFL with the Birmingham Stallions, played at Alabama. He's a good, tough kid. Runs the ball well, blocks well. Take a look at it. Number 30 on the right side comes through, an outstanding block by Tom Neville, number 72. And then you see the Cincinnati Bengals missing the tackles there, and Caruth with a good, strong, squatty size of his picks up good yardage.
Yes, he's a cousin of famed Baseball Hall of Famer Milw. Sam White has to be scratching his head. Forrest Gregg put in different running backs to start this week, perhaps for some motivation. Well, it's successful so far. Forget about the motivational factor. Here's Ellerson again. Ellerson has running room, and he's down to the 12. This game is a sellout thanks to the fine folks of WTMJ television here in Milwaukee. They bought the last 900 tickets, and I'm sure all the Packer fans watching the Milwaukee area are very grateful to Channel 4 for enabling them to see what is a most surprising and a welcome sight for Packer fans, a long, successful drive all the way down to the Cincinnati 12. So, tip of the cap to WTMJ television this afternoon. First down at the 12. Caruth in motion. Ellerson carries inside the 10, down to the 8. The Packer drive continues. So as they unpile on the dirt portion of the infield where the Brewers play. Checking the scores once again on our ticker. Can anybody score a touchdown in the NFL this afternoon? The defenses are reigning thus far. Cleveland's in Pittsburgh, Reggie, trying to win for the first time ever at Three River Stadium. They've lost every single time they've played there.
16 years in a row. This is the 17th meeting.
2nd and 5 at the 7. Ellerson to the 5, upended at the 3. Leo Barker in on the tackle for Cincinnati. But Ellerson, second-year player from Wisconsin, having a terrific afternoon, Reg.
Good block by former #1 draft choice Ken Rutgers, number 75, in the middle of your screen from USC. Big, strong. He has the distinction of being the man given Forrest Gregg's number here in Green Bay, number 75. There's Forrest. He wore that number, a Hall of Famer now.
And there's confusion on both benches as players being run in and out. Wright asking for silence. 3rd down and 1 at the 3. Ellerson fights inside near a first down. Ron Simpkins stopping him. And this will be a most important measurement. And the crowd, even before the measurement, says go. And it is 4th down. They won't even bother to measure with the ball at the 3.
Oh, and you're 0-4 and you need a shot in the arm like the Green Bay Packers need. You have to go for this first down and score first. Get out first on the Cincinnati Bengals, who don't have a very good defense, and you may be in business in this ballgame.
4th and 1.
Ball resting between the 2 and the 3. I formation. Randy Wright breaks it up now. Ruth in motion. Ellerson the carry.
Whoa.
And up and over. No score, but the Packers signal first down. The officials have yet to do so.
Now here's where you
Now
start.
they're taking timeout.
Here's where you start jockeying for the judge's favor, Lynn. The defense is saying no, he didn't. The offense is saying yes, we did. Here's Ellison going high, but there's a wall of orange helmets right there at the line of scrimmage to meet Ellison. That is the way you stop a man in the air. Put that helmet and that shoulder pad in there and stop it.
First down, Packers at the 2. Did he really say that, Reggie?
Well,
that's an awfully tough quote. I know he's a tough coach.
Having played for this man, I think he would.
Maybe he said I would kiss my mother for a win. Maybe,
I think he said he would whip her.
So 1st and goal for Randy Wright. Again asking for silence at the closed end of County Stadium. Big formation. That brings a roar from the crowd as they split outside. Ellerson trying to turn the corner. Touchdown, Packers! The first rushing touchdown of the year and just the 3rd score of the season for the Packers, and they do it in impressive style with 3:40 remaining in the first quarter. 6-0 for Gregg and the Pack.
That's why this is such a marvelous game. Last week, both of these clubs looked so inept in their performances, and this week, after Gregg cracks the whip, put them through all kinds of practice sessions under all kinds of duress, what a fine-looking offense they have today. What a difference a week makes.
Al Del Greco will try to make it 7. And he does so. So the sold-out County Stadium crowd happy as the Green Bay Packers have marched the length of the field. Gary Ellerson capping off the longest drive of the season for the Green Bay Packers.
The famed Green Bay Packers sweep. Watch number 65, Ron Holstrom, out in front of Gary Ellerson. You can't see it from this angle, but he throws a marvelous block in the end zone, springing Ellerson for the touchdown. Ten plays, 84 yards. 6 minutes and 36 seconds. They look scintillating on that drive.
And most of those yards were Ellerson. 2 catches for 53 yards passing. Kick is low. Tim McGee scoops it. Doesn't have it yet. McGee goes back at the 5. And this is a Green Bay Packer first quarter with 3.5 minutes remaining. Who would have thought it? Tim Harris covering.
Certainly not a very wise decision to try to pick that ball up and scoop it and on the run and do everything at the same time.
But there is a flag on the play, Rich. And White says take the penalty.
Okay.
Go west. All right, maybe I'll ask him to kick it again. Sure.
Talking with Boomer Esiason before the game, he noted that this was a turning point for the Cincinnati Bengals. They must win this game. Not only because they need to stay in contention, but when you're facing an 0-4 team, obviously has problems.
Kicking team, number 97, re-kick.
No wonder Harris was covering on the play. He was offside.
Finish the thought, Lynn. You should not lose to a team that on paper you are better than. Of course, you don't play the game that way, but very important game here for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are behind now 7-0.
Well, he coached the Bengals into the Super Bowl, number 16. Pontiac, Michigan. In fact, Greg is the answer to that trivia question. The only man to ever play and coach in a Super Bowl, but he has his work cut out from here in Green Bay. The team has never started off in the glorious Packer history, has never started off 0-5, and they are 0-4 coming in today, and Del Greco will kick for a second time. Another low kick from Del Greco. And Stanford Jennings. Jennings comes to the near side, may get some room at the 35, and wrestled down at the 36 by Ed Berry. Kick return of 20 yards for Stanford Jennings, and wind will be a factor this afternoon. You can see the flag on the far side whipping. Kind of swirling winds, but at the moment it's to the back of the Bengals and Boomer Esiason. First down at the 37. Motion with tight end Bill Johnson, and Johnson gets daylight across midfield. Bill Johnson all the way down to the Packer 36. So the Bengals say take that, Green Bay. Mark Lee finally making the stop. A big pickup for Bill Johnson, the former USFL player out of Arkansas. 27 yards.
Johnson had a fabulous game against the Cleveland Browns on a Thursday night. That's when they really discovered how strong he was in the hole. And I'll tell you what, he has some good speed here, good footwork. Reminds you a little bit of Kennebrew going from tackle to tackle. Very difficult to bring down. Big pickup by Bill Johnson.
First down at the Packer 36. James Brooks tries to cut back inside, and gets the 35 is driven back by a green wave. John Dorsey, Jeff Shue, a couple of the Packers on the tackle.
I still think that is one area of this game in which the Packers are good at. I believe they stopped the run very well. And I believe that Boomer Esiason needs to put this ball up in the air. The Packers do not get great pressure on the quarterback. They give a lot of man-to-man coverage. The Bengals have outstanding people to throw to. Let's see what he does.
2nd and 9 at the 35. Passing play. Fakes to Johnson. Rolls out. Passes to Johnson at the 30. And inside the 30 to the 29, but short of a first down. Randy Scott and John L. Sullivan covering.
Esiason came away looking for Eddie Brown down on the left side. Good coverage over there by Mosi Cade. Found Bill Johnson sneaking out of the backfield. Didn't look pretty, but it picked up about 8 yards.
To the 29. This will be 3rd and 3 at the 29 for Cincinnati. Tim Lewis, fine cornerback who had to call it quits the week before last after butting heads with Willie Gault of Chicago. Tough to retire at the age of 24. Pitch back to Johnson. Johnson stopped. And this will set up a long field goal attempt should they choose to go for it. Brian Noble making the stop. Now we have some touchdowns. Patriots over that leaky Miami defense 10-0. And Kansas City over the Raiders, same score. Scoreless Minnesota and Chicago. And the NFC scores as Jim Breach comes on. Breach thus far in 86 has been perfect. Hasn't missed a field goal or an extra point. This will be a long attempt as he pats the turf at the 38. So a 48-yard try for Jim Breach with the veteran Ken Anderson holding. And as you can see, off and short. And the Packer defense holds, and another good roar of appreciation as Jim Breach misses for the first time in 86. NFL 86 is Sam White, and the man he succeeded, Forrest Gregg, and a surprising first quarter, which is about to come to a close. First down for Green Bay at the 29. 6 first downs for the Packers, just 1 for the Cincinnati offense. Ellerson, this time he's wrapped up and stopped. Eddie Edwards brought him down.
Good penetration by Eddie Edwards, number 73 that time. He played off the block excellently, got into the backfield and stopped Gary Ellison. One of the few times today that Ellison has been stopped from getting productive yardage.
It was a loss of 3, and that'll do it for the first quarter. So first quarter dominated by Gary Ellison. It's a commercial. You saw Boomer Esiason shaking his head. I've seen you do that throughout the first quarter.
I'm shaking my head a little bit too, because I don't believe that you want to give a team like the Green Bay Packers incentive. I think if you give them success early, they're difficult to play against. They are virtually defenseless via the pass, Len. I think they need to throw the ball. I think Cincinnati has a great passing attack. Throw the football.
I think they're being a little too conservative.
I do.
Second down and 14 for the Pack at their 26 as we start the second quarter in Milwaukee. Carruth is the lone setback. Flag is down. Ellerson is open. He's been open all day, Reg. When are they going to figure out number 42 is dangerous out of the backfield? Let's see who the flag will go against. It's a holding against Green Bay, which will negate that good pickup on the pass to Ellerson.
I think what Green Bay is realizing is that they have a formation mismatch when they get Ellison outside. Let's take a look at first quarter stats.
Look at the time of possession, Reggie. Over 10 minutes for
Holding.
Green Bay.
Offense, number 73, replays second down.
What we have here is clearly a team that has better personnel, the Bengals, who are playing tentatively.
It was Alan Weingrad called for the hold. As far as Greg has a few words for Kenneth Davis. Davis says, "Let me in, coach. I have been the starter."
The Bengals aren't matching up well in this formation. They're trying to cover Lofton and Epps, but they've got to put a defensive back on Ellison.
Now they are pushed back to the 16. Second down and 26. And slipping down on the handoff. And not the play you want to call on a second and 26 is one of the few times Ellerson has been stopped. I'm not sure it was the dirt of the infield portion that got him here, because the dirt is packed pretty down hard. But now Ellerson heads out. Substitutions all around. Skin portion of the Brewer infield. This will be third down from the 15. They need to get out to the 39. From the 15. And Green Bay center Mark Cannon with a strained ligament. He is out, replaced by Bill Cherry, a rookie free agent from Middle Tennessee State. Another flag is down as the play is whistled dead. Green Bay offense really struggling here in this series. It'll be a motion call against the Packers to push him back to the 10.
Ball starts. Offense, number 75, third down.
Ken Rutgers. So everyone getting in on the act now. And now the ball's back to the 10. They're marching backwards. They need the 39 for a first down.
A precarious position to be passing in football, because Wright will be backed up against his own end line, and that's always dangerous.
It's a 3rd and 30, Reggie. Shotgun formation with Cherry now centering and replacing the injured Cannon. And the inside handoff to Carruth, and he gets out to the 16. You know, the crowd is booing a bit. You really can't argue with that. As you pointed out, that's a dangerous place to try to pass from, and Wright has really struggled with his passing. Hasn't hit a wide receiver today. He's mainly worked the running backs. Didn't hit anybody last week at all.
Listen, they've got a 7-0 lead. And they had their backs to the wall. There's no sense in taking a chance in that situation. They did the right thing. Punt the football, play defense. The Bengals aren't playing the kind of offense right now that they are noted for, so why take chances?
So Bracken, who had a 46-yarder last time, and they'll let it bounce at the 50.
I think that ball may have hit a Bengal.
I thought it might have, but let's see.
I think that ball may have hit a Bengal.
I agree with you, Reggie. Of course, we have a replay official. The flag is down anyway on the near side.
Sam White's told us before the game that if he thought that a call would be in his favor, he wouldn't hesitate to take a timeout so the officials can make the call. All right, let's left side of the screen. Watch number 27. The ball does graze off.
Yes.
You see the different inflection of the ball on the second hop. It appeared to hit Barney Bussey.
The officials have yet to go to any walkie-talkie. There's a flag on the play anyway, Reg, which could negate the whole thing, even if it did hit a Bengal.
Well, our replay judge today is Paul Trapinski, looking at the instant replay.
Maybe there's no need to look at it, Reg, if a flag was down. I'm sure that's now the walkie-talkies are out. So they're speaking with the replay official upstairs. This is the era of technology to determine football. Let's get the explanation now. There's the booth where the replay official, Paul Trapinski, sits. But if there was an ineligible man down on the Packer punt, that would negate it anyway. Let's see. And we have walkie-talkies and wireless microphones for the officials. And
Ineligible member of the kicking team down early. Re-kick, 4th down.
so it didn't matter if it hit a Bengal or not. An eligible man downfield, they'll kick again. So it's all mute.
That mean it didn't make any difference?
Right. So Bracken now will stand in his end zone and we'll try again. If there wasn't a flag down, then they might have gone to the replay official and determined the ball did hit Bussey, and it would have been Green Bay ball. Now, all these things you have to think about. A play doesn't happen until the next play now, fans. Every play in football is tape delayed until the next snap because of replay. So what you see doesn't really happen until they've snapped the ball in the next play. Bracken from his goal line to Mike Martin at the 46. Martin in Packer territory is dragged down at the 46 of Green Bay. 43-yard punt, a 9-yard return. So now that things are all straightened out after a poor Green Bay drive, Cincinnati has the ball. First down at the Packer 44 for Cincinnati, trailing with 13 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-0 Green Bay. And Esiason to throw on first down. And he'll complete one to Eddie Brown, first down, and now he completes one to a wide receiver inside the 30 to the 29. Mossy Cade covering.
Eddie Brown, 11 receptions, 16.9 average, and 2 touchdowns. They like Eddie Brown a great deal. He's a double threat player. He carries the ball on reverses, and he runs well after the catch, as you just saw. The Bengals need to throw the ball more.
First down at the Packer 29. That was the first completion to a wide receiver in the game. James Brooks on the sweep. Good blocking inside the 25. Brooks is lassoed down at the 21 by Tom Flynn, the free safety. New England and Kansas City continue with their 10-0 leads. St. Louis surprising the Giants. No score. Philadelphia and Atlanta. Cleveland trying to win for the first time at Three River Stadium. Ball down to the 20. So a pickup of 9 for Brooks. Call this a 2nd and 1. Caddis in motion. Bill Johnson. And he gets the 1 and more as he dives ahead to the 15. A good second burst from Johnson. Robert Brown making the stop for Green Bay.
Good power blocking right in the middle of that offensive line. Remington, number 50. Blados, number 74. Look at the block by number 74, left side of the screen. Blados just collapsing that side of the Packer line. Alfonso Carrica there. Can't get away from Blados. Blados looking for more people to hit. A 300-pounder.
Major league block from Brian Blados. First down at the 15. The pitch to Johnson. And maybe to the 12. The swarming Packer defense led by Randy Scott, their top tackler last year, number 55 in the tackle.
Football is such a game of wills, Lynn. One side trying to will its way onto the other, strength being a vital part of that. And maybe it's just that Sam Whites and the Cincinnati Bengals think that they can overpower the Green Bay Packers up front, because all signs point to a passing game for them.
It's tough to pass on the far side. The stands come right up to the back of the end zone, and it does adjust your game plan. This is 2nd and 8 at the 13. So passing is tough in Milwaukee at both ends. You can't run a fly pattern or you can really hurt yourself. Esiason throws it away into the stands, or near close to it. You can see on the far side there, the stands comes right up to the back of the end zone. So you can't really run a fly pattern as you can in other stadiums, or you can really be seriously hurt here.
A week ago, Lynn, that may have been a touchdown. What the Packers are doing today is just what Dick Moselowski said they needed to do: pressure. 3rd down conversions. New Orleans 56.2, Cleveland 55.0, and the Packers 51.8. That isn't very good in 3rd down situations.
So Sam White's faced with a 3rd and 8 at his 13. Throwing. Collinsworth. Touchdown Cincinnati. The veteran Chris Collinsworth, 13 yards from Esiason, and they're within an extra point of tying this one up.
So you play well on 1st down and 2nd down, and suddenly you give up a big play on 3rd down, as we just showed you on the 3rd down conversion percentage. Collinsworth slanting in across the middle. Outstanding play by Esiason to Collinsworth. But if you're looking at it from a defensive point of view, you should never give up a touchdown in that situation after playing so well on 1st and 2nd down.
So with 11 minutes remaining in the half, Jim Brees will try to knot it at 7. Anderson holding. It was a low snap. Anderson converted it, and so did Breach. So early 2nd quarter. It's the Packers 7, the Bengals 7, on the strength of a 13-yard touchdown throw from Boomer's Boomer. You threw it good, kid.
You watch 99 and 55 back out of there. That means that the Packers wanted to defend the pass rather than rush it. It didn't prove the right move.
So Breach kicks away. 7-7 game. Short kick. 15. It's Gary Ellerson. Heads outside to the 20 before he is stacked up by Barney Bussey after a pickup of 5 yards. So the Pack will start from the 20. And Randy Wright and the Packer offense will be looking for better things on this possession. They really marched backwards the last time.
Many times when a team is playing on emotion, which many of course Greg's teams do because he's such a big motivator, that's Chuck Fusina, they sometimes settle back into their old habits after the other team gets back into the football game or does something spectacular in its own way. Let's see if the Packers respond to the score by Cincinnati.
The team still is talking about Doug Flutie. They would have to work things out with the Rams, and also Flutie would have to get out of his USFL contract with Trump. 1st down at the 20. Now Davis is in the lineup for Green Bay, but doesn't get anything. Davis, their 1st pick last year on the 2nd round. They didn't have a number 1 pick. Look what Kansas City's doing to the Raiders, Reggie. 17-0. Walter Payton's giving Chicago a 7-0 lead on Minnesota. New Orleans is playing Washington tough. And Houston is within 4 of Detroit. Here's the score here in Green Bay and Milwaukee. Cincinnati and Green Bay tied at 7. No gain on the last play for Davis. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Formation in the backfield. Right, throwing to nobody. Dan Ross was perhaps within 10 yards of the play. Ross, a former Cincinnati Bengal, who did quite well in the Super Bowl for Cincinnati, but this will set up 3rd and 10. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd and 10. Tough play here. Will they be blitzing?
I don't think that Cincinnati will be. Green Bay isn't very good in picking up their own 3rd down conversions. Cincinnati has their nickel coverage in, doubling 2 outside receivers and single covering the inside play.
From the shotgun. Right. Nearly picked off twice. Once by Reggie Williams, the 2nd time by Lewis Breeden. The pass was intended for Eddie Lee Ivory, and he got a hand on it as well. That was really a pinball play.
Well, once Randy Wright got outside containment here, watch the rush coming at him here. Nothing difficult about the rush. It's picked up. Now he needs to just settle down right here, pick out somebody to throw to. He did not see Reggie Williams standing in front of the intended receiver, Eddie Lee Ivory. That's the kind of thing that gets you intercepted.
So Don Bracken is doing a bit better today punting than he had been doing. Punting away to Mike Martin of the Bengals. Not a great kick there. Ball bounces and they'll let it take a Packer bounce all the way back to the 38. So he didn't get the height, but Bracken did get the roll. And with 9:49 remaining in the first half, after a 42-yard punt without a return, the Bengals will take over at their 38. Their defense has been very successful against Green Bay in the last two series, and score is tied at 7 with under 10 minutes remaining first half.
They're getting good field position because of their defense, and this is the kind of field position where you want to throw the football on first down.
Gave up those 6 touchdown passes to Minnesota last week and 1 more thus far today. Esiason will hand it off to Bill Johnson, and he'll lose the football. Fumble on the play.
Johnson, ball carrier.
Johnson playing in place of the injured Larry Kennebrew does not get a chance to play a great deal. He won't get a chance to play further if he starts coughing the football up. Got to hold on to that ball in the center of the line.
Bengals fortunate to recover it. Play goes as no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 38.
The size of Dave Remington, number 50. What a huge man.
Is there a reason why now they finally get things moving?
2nd and 9. Ball on the 39.
Esiason, touchdown pass to Chris Collinsworth. 3 for 5. No interceptions opposed to a week ago. Here goes a fake reverse. James Brooks keeps it to the far side and out of bounds at the 45 after a pickup of 7. So the score is 7-7 here. Let's check with Bob Costas, see what's going on elsewhere. Bob?
Len, in Kansas City, the Chiefs lead the Raiders in the second quarter 17-0. 10 of their 17 points set up by Raider turnovers, including this 18-yard run by Boyce Green in the first quarter following a Mark Wilson fumble. 17-0 Chiefs in the second.
Thank you, Bob. The Raiders finally got a win last week, but off to one of their toughest starts in memory. 3rd and a long 1 yard to go for a first down. Brooks gets the first down and out of bounds at midfield. And New England leads Miami also by 17-0. Miami's given up the most points in the AFC. Cincinnati here is number 2 in points allowed. Giants have now tied up St. Louis. No changes on the other 2 scores.
New Orleans playing pretty tough.
Yep. And Detroit now ahead, 14-3. Ball at midfield, first down for Cincinnati. Side ball was tipped and incomplete, intended for Collinsworth. We now pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WLUK 11 Green Bay.
At Milwaukee County Stadium, Len Berman with Reggie Rucker. It's 7-7 Cincinnati and Green Bay with 8:35 remaining in the second quarter. The day has turned very overcast. 2nd down and 10 from midfield. Wonder if they'll think about turning the lights on. Now the real reverse to Eddie Brown. And Brown slips down, so all of that picked up about 2 yards. But it was fun to watch.
Boomer Esiason threw an outstanding block downfield. I don't know whether I'd like my quarterback to make a block attempt like that. Quarterbacks are susceptible to many shoulder injuries, and they're hurrying up. Packers once again don't have enough people on the field.
3rd and 8 at the 48. No huddle. Esiason with time. He'll run it. Esiason a first down and slides down at the 35. A good pickup of 13 yards for Esiason. First down Cincinnati at the Packer 35.
A great fake by Esiason. A great fake. Watch it now as Esiason back to pass, decides to run with the football, looks out to his right. Watch the fake. There it is, the pump fake. Everybody goes that way. Then he picks up a block from Bill Johnson running behind Eddie Brown right there. Slides safe. First down.
He did it right about at second base here at County Stadium. So the Bengals moving again with 7:20 remaining first half. Draw play. James Brooks. Stutter stepping. Down to the 30. Pick up a 5 for Brooks. Well done.
Great footwork by James Brooks. There was absolutely nothing there. He made 2 people miss behind the line of scrimmage and then made a good move about the 30-yard line to pick up 5 yards.
Brian Noble making the tackle. Outside linebacker. Reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
Second and 5.
This will be second down and 5 for the Bengals at the Packers 30. Clock moving now. 6:45 remaining in the first half. 7-7 our score.
And the Bengals are beginning to control the football in time of possession.
The Packers had it over 10 minutes in that first quarter. This has been a Bengals second quarter. Esiason complete to Brown on the outside. First down at the 20. Brown down to the 15. Before he's finally dragged out of bounds by Mosi Cade.
Well, picking on Mosi Cade.
And Brian Noble is down, Rich.
Yeah, the right cornerback. They just lost a linebacker last week, John Anderson, for the season.
Right, Noble was their top rookie last year, and he appears hurt as he helped bring down Brown with Cade.
Cade is playing too far off of the ball, though, but that's to be expected. He hasn't played that position, and he's giving up a lot of room to Eddie Brown. Cade did play last year in the beginning of this season at the strong safety position. He has cornerback ability, but he doesn't have cornerback experience, so I would expect them to continue to pick on Mosi Cade.
Let's see if we can pick up what happens to Brian Noble, second-year player from Arizona State. There's Cade. Here comes Noble. Maybe
hard to tell.
His arm. It is hard to tell.
You and I were talking as we were walking.
Perfect fake and a come from behind win over Buffalo on a rollout kind of scramble. First down at the 15. Fakes one way, heads this way, and he does keep it. And runs out of bounds with it.
There's Bobby Leopold clapping because he knows he did a fine job of maintaining containment. Leopold was not fooled whatsoever by the bootleg by Esiason. Got out on the outside, kept Esiason in range, in pursuit, and of course Boomer had no one to throw the football to.
And it was Robert Brown, fifth-year man from VPI, who ran him out of bounds. So a loss on the play of 3 yards, second and 13 from the 18. Now we look for it to pass.
Well, the Packers play great defense on first and second down. It's just third down where they have the lapses.
Johnson to the 15, to the 14. Charles Martin making the tackle. Pick up a 4. That would set up 3rd and 9. So where you might have thought pass, they ran. And again, you would think pass in this situation. Bengals have been 3 for 5.
Last time in this area of the field, he chose Collinsworth for the touchdown.
Right. Has Brooks in a slot to the left.
Another man-to-man situation down here at the bottom.
Crowd calls for defense. 3rd and 9. Look for Brooks. The fake. And the sack. A big one for the Packer defense. Alfonso Carricker with his first of the year. But a flag is on the play.
I think he wanted Collinsworth again. Number 80 on Mosi Cade. Inside. Now he's got a hold of him, and he releases, and Collinsworth slips. Collinsworth was not prepared to catch the football, and that could have led to the sack.
But there is a flag on the play.
Holding. Defense. Number 22. First down.
Mark Lee.
A critical penalty against Mark Lee, the veteran from Washington. Instead of 4th and long, it's a first down and a big play right there on the penalty.
So once again, the Packers are plagued by that third down phenomenon of theirs. They just cannot seem to put it all together on third down. Look at that stat.
Well, the Bengals haven't had a flag against them yet. And this will be 1st and goal at the 9. Instead of a long field goal try, Reggie. That's a big turnaround right there. And Noble, the report, a bruised knee. I don't know if he will return. James Brooks to the 5. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Big play on that drive. A Mark Lee holding call. James Brooks gives the Bengals the lead. And a fired up Sam White on the Bengals sideline.
Sam saying, yeah, get him, guys. That's what I want. Watch it now. Left side of the screen. Action coming right at you. Look at the explosion off tackle by number 21, James Brooks, who saunters into the end zone untouched.
Jumped right over between the cameraman and his tape crew from one of the local stations, split the two of them, and hurdled for the touchdown.
What a versatile athlete James Brooks is. Once again, one of the top performers in all-purpose yardage a year ago. Runs, catches, and does everything with the football.
Anderson holding for Breach. And it's blocked. It's blocked. And that could be a big play. The first miss of a field goal for Breach this year. Extra point, rather. The blocked PAT attempt. So with 5:19, his offense score after the sack is negated thanks to a holding call. But Breach, who has missed a 48-yard field goal attempt, has an extra point blocked, the first of either that he has missed this year. And now with 5:19 remaining in the half, it's 13-7 Cincinnati. And Breach will kick it off. Kenneth Davis at the 12, across the 20. And Davis fights to get to perhaps the 29. Will this become a big play in the course of this game? A blocked extra point attempt.
Tim Harris may be the one that got way up in the air, the center of your screen, deflected that attempt.
They're crediting it to Tim Harris, number 97, with the block. So first down for Green Bay at their 29. Tough afternoon for Breach, and lately for the Green Bay offense. They have really struggled after their first good longest drive of 86. Takes it to Davis. Right. Going long for Lofton. And he came back to prevent Breeden from intercepting it. So Wright has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver this afternoon. The only two to Gary Ellerson out of the backfield.
But this is what you have to do when you have James Lofton on your team. You've got to throw the football his way. He didn't catch that deep throw, but what that does is that makes Lewis Breeden and the Cincinnati Bengals aware that we will go deep on you. James Lofton is still on our football team, contrary to what many people think.
And Phillip Epps as well.
Yeah,
two speedy
fastest
wide
receiver
receivers
in pro football.
And now Davis, the running back, is flanked out to the right side as a wide receiver. 2nd and 9 for the 29s. They're trying to shake things up a bit offensively. They need shaking up. Here he throws for Davis, but they could not find him as they did Ellerson. And this will set up 3rd down. The crowd unhappy with the way the Packer offense is moving now. Chicago's now extended their lead to 10-0. In Washington, Jay Schrader on a pass to Art Monk, 14-6 there. Philadelphia has scored on undefeated Atlanta. Pittsburgh always tough at home against Cleveland.
You can expect that.
3rd and 10.
So 3rd and 10 at the 29. Fusina doesn't have the jacket off yet. They've completed just 1 of 6 third down conversions.
Good catch.
Eddie Lee Ivory ruled incomplete.
Wow.
Past the first down marker. Ivory did everything he could to hold on, but he's not arguing the play. And this will set up 4th down and a punting situation. Ivory coming off the injured list.
I thought he had it here for a moment. He did, but unlike wide receivers who know how to close on a catch once they know they're going to make contact with the ground, a running back doesn't get the same opportunities or experiences at making catches of this type. And as you can see, the ball did come away from him as he hit the ground.
So Bracken will punt for the 4th time. Not a high one. Straight to Martin to the 33. Juggles it, keeps it, and dives ahead to the 40. So with 4:44 remaining in the first half, Bracken, a busy day for him, and the Cincinnati offense will try to put some more points on the board. Now, be sure to join NBC Sports Saturday evening, October the 18th, as the World Series has come home to NBC Sports. Will it be an East Coast affair, Mets and Red Sox? Will it be Houston Angels? What's the combination? Good pitching from the 4 playoff teams. When it all winds down to 2 teams, you'll see it right here on NBC Sports. First down at the 41 for Cincinnati. Fake to Johnson. All day he has time. And Collinsworth wide open. Chris at the 30. 25 out of bounds at the 20. Mostly Cade finally caught up with him. But Esiason had plenty of daylight, as did Collinsworth. No pressure on either.
Now the Bengal strategy is beginning to unfold. Watch Esiason. No one's even near him. Collinsworth on a crossing pattern gets the ball in stride, and when you get the football on the run like that, you can add additional yardage after the catch with a great run by Chris Collinsworth, number 80. What a duo, Collinsworth and number 81, Eddie Brown.
His 20th catch of the year. He has a touchdown today already. First down at the 20 after a 38-yard pickup. Johnson straight ahead. Inside the 20 to perhaps the 17. The crowd has got considerably quieter with 4:20 remaining in the half. They had that 7-0 lead. The defense was looking good. The offense had driven the length of the field, but now it's a different story.
This is the part of the field where, as a receiver, I was always in my quarterback's ear. Brian Seifert was telling, hey, I can do this, I can do that. You know, you can see the blood down here because you're only 20 yards or 15 to 16 yards away from pay dirt, and you want to run one of those real fancy routes for a touchdown. Let's see.
2nd and 7 at the 17. Brown comes in motion. Hand off to Brooks. Inside the 15 to the 14. And the flag is down on the far side. And clock is stopped with 3:51 remaining in the first half. And for the first time today, the Cincinnati Bengals will be penalized. And Brian Noble has returned for the Green Bay Packers after being helped off earlier.
We talked about one of the keys for victory for the Cincinnati Bengals. That was to play error-free football. No fumbles, no interceptions. So far, as you noted, Lynn, they've been playing error-free ball. This is the first penalty of the day for Cincinnati.
Let's pick it up now. Dick Hantak.
Illegal motion, offense. Number 74, replay the down, 2nd down.
Brian Blados.
What's he doing moving?
Well, some will charge he's moving when he's standing still. He's so big.
Yeah, I did the Japan Bowl a few years ago when Brian Blados was involved in that game. He got into a wrestling match with a
Sumo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our director, Ralph Abraham, who's doing the game today, was there with me. Taught me how to speak Japanese.
2nd down at 12 from the 22.
Turn it up.
Pressure. Esiason unloads for Brown, and good defense. The Packers secondary. That was Tom Flynn coming over at the last second as Brown grabs his elbow. Mark Lee also helping there, but they converged on Brown as Esiason sort of put it up for grabs with the pressure on him.
Well, you heard me say turn it up. Whenever a receiver is approaching the sideline on a pattern, he naturally should turn the pattern up the field and hope that his quarterback reads that, and Esiason did just that. Excellent adjustment by Eddie Brown and Boomer Esiason. They had to double cover the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, what play will Sam Weich and his coaching staff come up with here on 3rd and 12 at the 22? So Larry Kinneberg, number 28, off to the side. Injured fullback. Could play if needed.
What do you think? Will they finally snap a 3rd down play?
I'll let you know after the play. The chase is on. Wide open is Rodney Holman, the tight end. And Holman is stopped short of the first down. Flynn and Cade had daylight, but short of a first down, so they did stop a third down play.
That's incredible because Rodney Holman, number 82, the tight end, should not be this wide open. Third down. Good movement by Holman after he caught the ball. Fourth and less than a 1, maybe.
Well, will this be the first carry for Kiki Diayala? The linebacker is in the play backfield, a la refrigerator. As Cincinnati will go for it. Green Bay was successful on a fourth down conversion in the first quarter. Diayala's to the left side, number 93. No, goes to Johnson. Johnson fights inside the 10 to the 9, which would be good enough for a first down. Tom Flynn brought him down.
Good block by Diayala. Solidified the left side for Bill Johnson. Let's take a look at it. Number 93, Kiki Diayala, right there. Watch him inside. Cleans up on the block on Randy Scott. Gets him off of his fullback. Johnson, with an excellent effort, crawls for a first down.
There's Diayala. Sam White said he was pulling at his shirt tails a couple of weeks ago, saying, I want to touch it next time. First and goal at the 9. Johnson to the outside and dragged down by the coattails by John L. Sullivan, the strong safety. Tom Flynn helped out his way. Good play defensively against the big fullback, Bill Johnson. 2:20 remaining in the first half here. It was 13-7 Cincinnati. Elsewhere, New England pouring it on that helpless Miami defense. The Raiders have gotten 7 back against Kansas City. Winless St. Louis playing the Giants tough. Undefeated Atlanta is trailing 17-14. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Second and goal at the 8. Cincinnati, critical possession here for Green Bay defensively. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Brooks has daylight. His second touchdown of the afternoon. James Brooks runs to the far side 8 yards, and now Cincinnati leads 19-7.
How about that for diversification? You really cannot hang your hat when you're defending Sam White and the Cincinnati Bengals. They do a number of things well. This is an option play. Watch it now. Fake to the fullback. Pitch outside to the speedy James Brooks. Forget it. Hang it up. You can't catch him. John Dorsey and company. Sprints to the corner of the end zone. Second touchdown on the day for number 21, James Brooks.
It's really the second in the last 4 minutes for Brooks. And now Breach, whose last one was blocked, will try again. Low snap, but this one he gets up, and he's got one for this afternoon. So, with 1:55 remaining in the first half, the Bengals lead the Packers to Messias into Collinsworth. Along that drive as well, Cincinnati went for it and was successful on fourth down, and that enabled James Brooks to take it in from 8 yards away. So, with 1:55 left in the half, the Bengals trailed 7-0 after 1, but now have countered with 20 unanswered points. And Breach kicking short again to the far side and out of bounds, and he'll have to do it one more time. This will not go in Jim Breach's personal memory book so far this afternoon.
I think Jim Breach is approaching the football very cautiously. We told you early on that that's not the best footing of the field. Right there around that 30-yard line, it's very slippery, it's very soggy, so he just can't take off on that push-off foot, and he's kicking mostly with his leg. Normally a kicker gets that entire body whipped into the ball, but right now he can't do that.
And he's kicking into the wind as the wind continues to swirl here at County Stadium. And that's the exact opposite way that Breach is kicking. No time taken off the clock. They only start the clock in the last 2 minutes until it is touched by the defense, by the receiving team. Low kick. Walter Stanley at the 15. Stanley stays in bounds and is whistled on the far side. He did step out of bounds, the official says, at around the 36. So a 20-yard return for Walter Stanley. Now let's take another look and see where he did step.
There's a second-year wide receiver kick runner.
Right there.
Just did touch the chalk mark.
So there's our score with 1:50 remaining in the second quarter. 20-7 Cincinnati. Randy Wright continues to lead an offense which has really struggled, particularly here in this quarter. First down from the 32 from the shotgun. Needs a big play right here. And dishes off for Ivory. Eddie Lee out of bounds at the 38. Maybe the 39. Pickup of 7. Think he'll play today?
Well, if Randy Wright doesn't put anything on the board here, I think the Packers will have nothing to lose. But they won't panic just yet.
1:44 remaining now in the first half.
Second and 3.
It's going to be a second down and 3 at the 39. Randy Wright, another Wisconsin native. Played at the University of Wisconsin. Tough weekend for the Badgers. Losing to Michigan last night. Good score. And the sack of Wright by Jim Scow. His second sack. Rookie from Nebraska.
Here's the reason for the sack. Watch Lofton. He's the intended receiver. Lewis Billups, the rookie. Cincinnati. You see Lofton pulling Billups. He should have been called for holding on Lofton, but excellent coverage by Billups.
Third down. Here they come. And that was thrown into a crowd and incomplete. And the crowd is thinking perhaps if you've seen it in the second half, and we will have to wait and see what Forrest Gregg is thinking, because Randy Wright has just continued to struggle here with the Packer offense this afternoon. And Green Bay, with 1:34 remaining in the half, will have to punt away, and that's why Sam White's called that timeout a few moments ago.
Well, maybe tried on my part, but I don't think the future of the Green Bay Packers rests with the passing arm of Randy Wright. I think they'll be looking for Vinny Testaverde or anyone like him in the draft.
Bracken kicks it away to Mike Martin at the 29. And Martin is grabbed at the 34 as the Packers are ball hawking unsuccessfully. Ed Berry, the first man down. 39-yard punt, a 4-yard return, and with 83 seconds remaining in the first half, Sam White and Boomer Esiason want more. It was a first quarter that was dominated by Green Bay. Time of possession, they had it over 10 minutes with a 7-0 lead. But the second quarter, all Bengals, they have outscored Green Bay 20-0 here in the second quarter. Reminder coming up on NFL 86 at halftime. Preview of the baseball playoffs as well as the football scores and highlights. Bob Costas will speak with the Mets' Keith Hernandez and Boston's Wade Boggs. So stay with us for NFL 86. But here, first down at the 35 for Cincinnati.
He's got 4 wide receivers in the football game now, and James Brooks.
Shotgun, hand off to Brooks inside. Big hole, and gets out to the 40. And the clock continues to run with 1:12 remaining in the first half. Cincinnati, no huddle. This will be second and 5. Exactly 1 minute remaining now in the first half. Esiason completes it to McGee. Just the 3rd NFL reception for Tim McGee, the first choice out of Tennessee. And now Sam White waves him over to the side and spends the second of their 3 timeouts with 49 seconds remaining in the half.
Speaking of Tim McGee, their first-round draft choice, Sam White says he actually has 3 first-rate receivers, Collinsworth, Brown, and Tim McGee. And he expects to begin to play McGee.
The Bengals still have 1 more timeout. Greg hoping he can escape with a 27 deficit. First down for Cincinnati at their 48.
This is an impossible matchup for Forrest Gregg and the Green Bay Packers. They can't cover this formation.
3 wide receivers are split to the left. McGee falls down. He was one of the 3, but Collinsworth is wide open and out of bounds at the 30. So with 42 seconds remaining, the Bengals want more. Ken Stills backup free safety covering.
When you're putting 4 fast people right at the line of scrimmage and the defense doesn't get any pass rush, and you've got a quarterback like Boomer Esiason, forget it. You can't handle players of this caliber for a long period of time. Look at them running downfield. Look at the good move Collinsworth makes inside and back out on Cade.
That's right. Cade went with the fake. Now first down for Cincinnati at the Green Bay 29. From the shotgun. Shovel pass. Brooks wide open. Brooks at the 15, all the way down to the 8. Esiason with an underhand shovel pass forward. The big gainer of over 20 yards. Quite a play to James Brooks. And the Bengals take their last time out with. We could give up 27 in the first half alone to the Bengals. And 4 wide receivers in for Cincinnati. First and goal at the 7. Throwing, and McGee was open as Collinsworth on the near side throws his arms. You can see him running off there, and Collinsworth was open as well.
If I was Green Bay, I would not cover the left side of this offensive formation with single coverage. I know that they can't do much on the right side because of the wall. I'd put 3 men down to the bottom side and cover 3 men with 2 and let the top guys go man to man.
They know they'll likely put it up. They're out of timeouts.
They're not going to throw to the right side unless they come back underneath.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, with 28 seconds remaining in the half.
That's the underneath pass again.
Collinsworth in motion. He's open. Collinsworth, his second touchdown for the Bengals. 2 for Collinsworth, 2 for Brooks. Collinsworth spikes it. 26 points in the second quarter for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Excellent play call by Sam Weich and company. Watch Collinsworth come underneath the receivers clearing out on the far side. Both guys go inside. Collinsworth runs underneath those 2 receivers, catches the football, and then gets into the end zone after the catch. Second touchdown of the day for Chris Collinsworth. The Bengals are roaring.
And Collinsworth doubles his touchdown output of the year. Goes from 2 to 4 in the first half. Anderson will hold for Breach. Bengals with their most impressive offensive quarter of 1986, 20. Jim Breach with another low kickoff. Walter Stanley at the 16. This time he stays inbounds, but a flag is thrown and he's dragged down at the 36. Which way? Okay. Points it against Green Bay. You hark back to that play. The score was 7-7, and the Green Bay defense turned in a good sack. But Mark Lee was called for holding. Remember that play?
Yes.
Holding on the return, number 31, first down.
And maybe a little turning point of a play there. Cincinnati was able to move in and score, make it 13-7 with 5 minutes, and they've scored 2 touchdowns since, as Chuck Fusina is wondering if the second half will be his or not. First down for Green Bay at the 21 with 17 seconds remaining in the first half. In the shotgun, Randy Wright, who can do little right, unfortunately, for Packer fans this afternoon. Over the middle, Lofton's got one at the 43, and timeout taken with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Finally, a completion to a wide receiver for 22 yards.
You make a throw like this against the prevent defense, which the Bengals are in right now, because the secondary is so deep, and you're willing to give up this kind of play, but you won't give up anything beyond the defensive back. Watch it now. You see how deep the Bengals are? They just don't want anybody to get beyond them. Outstanding play, though, by James Lofton.
Lofton is 5 catches shy of setting a Packer team record, surpassing Don Hudson's record for catches in his career. Back in the 40s, when he caught 488 balls.
That's amazing. Hudson caught 488 balls in 11 seasons, back when the forward pass had just been invented.
And Lofton with a chance at that record today, although the way things are going, it would be tough.
This isn't the way, mind you, that I think he wants to gain that record. He knows there's going to be what I call a lot of garbage stuff out there right now. It's 27-7.
Well, there are 10 seconds to go, Reggie, so you figure you try one long pass and hope for a field goal try or something like that.
No more field goals. They got to score. I mean, they've got to get some balls beyond the end line.
Right, calling signals. From his 43. Far side, complete to Stanley.
As a receiver, I dreaded a high pass like that in which I had to go up and get my feet off the ground because I knew the defensive back was going to come under me, and it's always the risk of coming down on your neck.
Ray Horton was the man who submarined them.
This is the most dangerous play for a wide receiver. Up is Stanley. Great catch. Now Horton comes underneath.
Wow.
Fortunately for Stanley, he got down on his shoulders before his helmet hit the ground. Very dangerous play for a wide receiver.
Wow. Just sitting on the far side. 4 seconds left. The ball is at the Cincinnati 45. Stanley holding that right leg. You can see that one coming. And while we have a moment, the Green Bay timeout. New England 27-0 over Miami. The other scores remain the same. No change on any of those as well. Of course, NFL 86 will have all the scores and highlights in just a few moments. Score here. The scores whipped by Cincinnati 27, Green Bay 7. And you're right. They will not try a 62-yard field goal, Reggie. They will go for it on first down and 45 yards.
Got Epps and Lofton down on the right side of the screen. That's where I would throw the football.
And he'll throw up a prayer as time runs out. No, he won't. On the second quarter, dumps it off for Kenneth Davis.
We're going to get booed here now.
And that's a no-gainer. And you can. He's also warming up on the far side, so we're still not sure who it will be. But Cincinnati will get the ball first. Del Greco. Low kicks today. And down at the 25. Tim McGee, the returner for Cincinnati, and that's where the Bengals will start. 15-yard return for McGee. And at the 25-yard line, Reggie, your keys to winning.
We talked about Cincinnati, in order to win, has to play error-free football, a plus turnover ratio. They're doing that, and defensively keep Lofton and Epps under control, no quick strikes. They're doing that, so they are well on their way to accomplishing their objectives, as I saw it.
Bill Johnson starts at fullback again as the Bengals begin at their 25, out to the 30, perhaps a pickup of 5 for Johnson. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WLUK 11, Green Bay.
John Dorsey, the tackle.
So back at County Stadium, opening seconds of the third quarter. Bud Berman with Reggie Rucker. This will be a 2nd and 5 for Cincinnati at their 30. Packers desperately need some defense as well as some offense. Brooks heads to the outside, eludes the tackle, cuts back up for a first down and out of bounds at the 40. John L. Sullivan finally ran him out. Man who had a shot at him but missed was Alfonso Carricker.
Carricker almost makes a great play, 6-7 yards deep into the backfield. He misses. What do you have? Well, a first down run by James Brooks, who scooted away on the outside after an outstanding block by number 74, Brian Blados. I'll tell you, this Brian Blados is a player to watch. They said that Blados' turn is coming this year for big-time recognition, and it quite possibly is turning out to be true for Blados, number 74.
First down for Cincinnati at their 41. Bill Johnson. And no gain. Hit hard on the play. Randy Scott, the man, 6-year vet from Alabama. So Cincinnati wants to establish it on the ground with the big lead and eat up some time, but no gain on that play, so that'll be 2nd and 10 now for Cincinnati from their 41. Tim McGee comes into the huddle, replaces Eddie Brown. McGee gives the play to Esiason. You don't have to signal in the plays when you're using the 3 wide receivers, so you run the shuttle system.
And when you don't have a drop-off in talent like they don't have when McGee replaces Eddie Brown.
Good time for Esiason. McGee complete. Tries to move for a first down, maybe a bit shy near midfield. Depends where they mark it. Pickup of close to 10. Appears just to be a bit shy of the first down.
Tim McGee looks to be a very confident wide receiver to me. You can tell how confident he is. He caught that ball very skillfully with his hands, turned it up, and knew where the first down marker was as he almost got it. Didn't get it by a matter of inches, but he looks to be a very confident and productive player for the Cincinnati organization.
3rd and inches. So they put the linebacker, Kiki Diayala, in the backfield. Ball just across midfield into Packer territory. Esiason dives himself for the first down. Not risking a handoff.
The keeper.
He'll mark it, well, perhaps the 48, which would be good enough for a first down.
Number 76, left side top of the screen is Carricker. He's being blocked by Brian Blados, and you can see how Blados has just moved him back off of the football. There's number 74, Blados, a 300-pounder. Good player.
First down at the 48 of Green Bay. Esiason was hit after he delivered the ball incomplete, but the only sack that the Packers have been able to deliver of Esiason was negated by a holding penalty. They almost got him there.
Too much time here on the decision-making process by Esiason. The Packer cornerbacks are very deep. They're trying to go deep, but they can't get beyond the Packer cornerbacks. Go ahead and take something short. Fortunately, that time, Esiason just got rid of the football.
Ryan Noble thought he had his first sack of the year there. It didn't happen. The Packers only have 2 sacks on the year. Second down and 10 at the 48. Here they come again. Esiason waving to his wide receiver. Ooh, hit him right in the hands and bounced off. That's Bill Johnson. So the Packers started to back off. That was a strange pass rush. They had him in the open field, and a couple of defenders backed away from him.
I thought Esiason had Collinsworth clean, and he waved him on because he saw Bill Johnson coming underneath, and Johnson looked totally unfamiliar with catching the football.
It was a strange pass rush. Charles Martin finally went on, but Noble was one of 2 Packers to just back off after they had him. All right, 3rd down and 10 at the Packer 48. Packer defense trying to hold, which they were unable to do in the second quarter. 4 wide receivers in. The Bengals. James Brooks goes in motion. Esiason, they got him back when he lost the ball. The Packers have it. They are not turnover free today. The Bengals are. The Packers with the turnover. Crowd finally with something to cheer about. Matt Court. And it will be Randy Wright at quarterback.
Now, Esiason's blind side is his right side because he's a left-hander. You don't want your quarterback to take a shot like this. Look, he's looking this way. Can't see what's coming on the backside. Tim Lewis, number 97, Tim Harris causes the fumble, and Matt Court makes the recovery.
And the rain coming out a bit harder. First down for the Packers at the Cincinnati 42. Wright is the quarterback and complete to Philip Epps down to the 26. The crowd booed when they saw that it was Wright at quarterback, but they cheered after that fine pass play. The first reception for Epps this afternoon. 16 yards. Don't you love people who pay good money to sit inside paper bags? First down at the Cincinnati 26. Fumble recovery, pass completion. The Packers are in business. Caruth and Ellerson again, the running backs to start the second half. This is Ellerson. Has some daylight, picks up 4 or 5. Ellerson had those 2 big pass receptions in the successful drive in the first quarter. Hasn't done much since. Fulcher in on the tackle.
Well, in all honesty, the Packers just didn't have good field position, Lynn, in that second quarter. They were constantly backed up into their own end of the field against their goal line and weren't able to exercise the complete offensive repertoire that they might have. This is a little different situation here. They've got a lot of options here. 2nd and 6 at the 22. Epps and Lofton are split out. Up the middle goes Ellerson inside the 20 to the 19, which would set up a 3rd and 3. If the Green Bay Packers have an opportunity to come back, the rain falling actually helps them. It makes pass rushing that much more difficult. You can't get off your stance in a hurry, and it makes it easier with the liberalization of pass blocking rules for that offensive line to protect him, and they should have some fun. Now, if they can come back, remains to be seen, but this should help them.
4 wide receivers now in for the Packers. Stanley and Eddie Lee Ivory. Complement. Epps and Lofton. 3rd and 3 at the 19. The shotgun formation. Right. Completes it. First down to Lofton at the 13. And suddenly the Green Bay offense looks smart. Just like that. What a difference a halftime speech makes, huh?
Well, you get to a point where you've got nothing to lose either. And here's Randy Wright going once again to the left side, and number 80, James Lofton, not a bad player to throw the football to.
First down for Green Bay at the Cincinnati 13. Lofton to the near side, Epps to the far side. This is Ellerson inside the 10. Ellerson fights to the 4, a pickup of 9. Strong run for Gary Ellerson, the Badger, in his second year.
I can recall many halftime speeches from Forrest Gregg when I was a player under him at Cleveland. Ellerson is down. He seems to be one of the more productive players out there today. They can't afford to lose him. But those halftime speeches of Forrest Gregg had a way of getting you up and getting you on, because you knew that if he caught you dragging or caught you giving it less than your best, you may be gone.
So while they tend to Gary Ellerson, we will take a timeout in Milwaukee. It's 27-7 Cincinnati.
Uh-oh.
Lately, by RCA, technology that excites the senses. And by your Blue Cross and Blue Shield plan, who reminds you to carry the caring card.
And as the rain continues to fall, which is nothing new for the hardy people of Milwaukee, who have been inundated, as many other places have in the Midwest and West. Second down and 1 at the 4-yard line. Lofton in motion, and Wright falls down and throws it up in the air. Unbelievable, and it was nearly a touchdown to Dan Ross. I've never seen that. On his back, he threw it up blindly and nearly threw a touchdown.
This is improvisational madness. Watch Randy Wright falling on his back.
Well, he was open, wasn't he, Reg?
Well, he hasn't had anybody open much today anyway, so he has decided to just unload, come back and throw it again on 3rd down.
Too bad he didn't complete that one just for all those newscasts around America tonight. I thought that would have been something to behold. 3rd and 1 at the 4. Look at this formation split wide open.
They're trying to get a linebacker in a mismatch.
Ellerson close to a first down. Remember in the first quarter they went for it on 4th down and they were successful. Here we will have timeout for an official measurement. We have 8 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the rainy 3rd quarter at Milwaukee's County Stadium. Cincinnati continues to lead 27-7. First down. So the Pack keeps the drive alive. First and goal now at the 3. They go with a 2 tight end alignment as Ed West is in to complement Dan Ross.
You take that long in a huddle, you're usually trying to point different things out in a passing game with people. Let's see.
Actually 3 tight ends now, Reggie, as Mark Lewis is in his way. Fake to Ellerson, right, passes off to Caruth, touchdown. The first NFL touchdown for a cousin of Hall of Fame baseball player Mel Ott. Paul Ott Caruth. It is now 27-13.
You know, Lynn, when you take a lot of time in a huddle like that, you're usually telling some specific player. Now be sure to delay. Go 1001 because this is what you call a hide play. The receiver has to just hang in there and delay and delay and delay, because if he leaves too soon, he gives the play away. Excellently executed by Paul Art Carruth and Randy Wright.
Bracken holds. Al Del Greco adds the point. So the Packers with their second successful drive of the afternoon. 8 minutes and 5 seconds remain in the third quarter. And now our score, Cincinnati 27. Packer fans hoping that that blocked extra point will turn out to be meaningful yet. Green Bay within 13 at 27-14. Al Del Greco getting ready to kick it away with a full 8 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. McGee at the 10. And McGee tripped up at the 28. As Packers were looking for a blocking above the waist call, which did not materialize. An 18-yard return for Tim McGee. So following the Matt Court fumble recovery, 8 plays, covered 42 yards in 3 minutes and 46 seconds, capped off on the 3-yard pass from Randy Wright to Paul Carruth. First down to 34 now for Cincinnati. Make it the 29. James Brooks. He's been forced to it. And hit to the 32. Randy Scott making the tackle for the Packers.
One way the Packers can get back into the football game, of course, is by making turnovers happen in this end of the field. They did it the last time out. Let's see if they're looking for the football by stripping, fumbles, or any means in which to turn that football over, to shorten the field, reduce the distance they have to go, gives them an opportunity to get back into the game.
2nd and 7 at the 32. Johnson allows perhaps to the 35. This will be that third down the middle distance now for the Green Bay defense.
No huddle.
Huddle 3rd and 4.5. Ball spot at the 35. They need the 39 for a first down. So Green Bay unable to change any defensive players. Still 10 seconds to go on the 30-second clock. Esiason with plenty of time and completes it on the far side for a first down to Eddie Brown at the 44. So while we have a moment here in Milwaukee, let's switch to Bob Costas in NFL 86.
All right, Len, they're in the fourth quarter now in Pittsburgh. Steelers lead the Browns 21-20 because of this 6-yard pass from Mark Malone to Lewis Lips. The touchdown set up when Gerald McNeil of the Browns, who earlier had run a kickoff back 100 yards for a touchdown, fumbled a punt, and the Steelers recovered.
Will Pittsburgh ever lose at home to the Browns?
I lost 8 games there that I was involved with, so all kinds of things happened there.
Brooks scatters to the outside across midfield. Brooks down to the 47. Mark Lee finally dragged him down. Not before he is very close to another first down. James Brooks a force this afternoon.
What a luxury to have a big, strong offensive line that blocks as well as this one does. And then a little back like James Brooks, who you can spring into the open field. First of all, it's hard to even find him at 5'10" or so behind people that are 6'6", 300 pounds. He's into the secondary before you can even locate him. 12 rushes, 78 yards for James Brooks.
6th year now out of Auburn. First down. Packer 47. Draw play. Stanford Jennings. That fights for a couple of yards before the Packers finally bring him down. Look at this note, Reggie. New England has now gone ahead of Miami 34-0. Steve Grogan has had to replace Tony Eason because of bruised ribs. Eason is out for the game. They've got Grogan as the backup. It's hard to last the season and starting quarterback in the NFL. A pickup of a yard on the play. So call it 2nd and 9 at the 49. Brooks again. And Brooks is stopped for a loss. Randy Scott again. And Esiason doesn't want to huddle. He hurries up to the line of scrimmage. And this will be 3rd down. Again, the no huddle on a 3rd and long. 3rd and close to 10 now.
Which means that Green Bay isn't going to get a very good pass rush, and Esiason is going to have a good time of it standing back there looking for someone to throw to.
The rain continues to fall. 4:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. No huddle, but they take plenty of time at the line of scrimmage to get the play on. 30-second clock down to 4 seconds. Down to 1. Barely got the play on. Esiason faking, throwing on the far side, complete to James Brooks, but he is short of a 1st down. John L. Sullivan covering. And this will be 4th and 2. And we'll see what Sam White chooses to do. Perhaps this is the time for a fake punt, Reggie.
Esiason wanted Eddie Brown, but Mark Lee covered Brown very well, and Brown slipped. Meanwhile, Brooks didn't get enough yardage for the 1st down. Speaking of that maybe trick play, let's take a look at this.
This would be the time of game and part of the field where you might want to fake one, but they don't. He kicks it away. Hayes goes for the near side, and he does not get it, but the ball stays out of the end zone and is down by the Bengals on the 1. What a bounce that was. When things are going right, they're going right. That ball took a right-hand turn for Jeff Hayden. Rainy Milwaukee as they protect the ball. I almost feel like going into a Ray Scott impersonation. This is the time of Packer football. The rain coming down, starting from the shadow of your goalpost, trailing by 13 in front of the home crowd, starting in the mud. And listen to Ray Scott on radio. No, too bad. All right, 1st down for Green Bay. 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Ellerson stacked up, pushed back into his end zone, but he was out first, so it will not be a safety. Eddie Edwards, one of the Bengals, doing the pushing. And an opportunity to check out our 10-minute ticker. Miami has finally scored.
Oh, look at that game.
And the Raiders, Napoleon McCallum, the naval ensign, has scored his 1st NFL touchdown in Kansas City. Chicago continues to shut out Minnesota. Giants over winless St. Louis. And undefeated Atlanta is being shut out by Philadelphia. They've turned it around the last 2 years. And Cleveland just can't win at Three River Stadium.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet. 2nd and 10 at the 2. And Davis bangs it out to the 5. I don't think the crowd should really boo here. I mean, what else would you do? I think this is the smart way to play football at this point.
Well, I disagree. Maybe the other side of that, when you're down here on the 1 and the 2 yard line, one thing that you can expect is man-to-man coverage in the defensive secondary, so you know where you can throw the football. It's Virgil Knight, strength and conditioning coach, with the light jacket on.
You're saying do a half gainer. I'm not sure what that motion was.
To get back to that thought, and then now Green Bay has to throw the football, and they may not get that man-to-man situation or matchup that they were looking for.
3rd and 7 from the 5, and a flag is thrown. They took too much time, and now they'll be pushed back half the distance.
Well, Lofton was trying frantically for a timeout. He recognized that they weren't going to get the play off in time, and another mistake.
But again, to follow up and play devil's advocate to you doing the same to me, you make one mistake here on an interception, and the game, which does have some hope.
Green Bay, their first timeout.
Now, did they get timeout before the flag went down or not? Technicians has the only dry seat in the house. Not much of a view, but you don't have to worry about the weather. We have a dry seat too. Happy to be with you. Len Berman with Reggie Rucker. We were talking about should they have thrown on 2nd down. They have a glimmer of hope of winning the game. They're down by 13, and one big mistake, and it certainly lights out for the team. And you say go ahead and throw on 2nd down.
I say Green Bay hasn't done anything up to this point to convince me that they can beat the Cincinnati Bengals conventionally. They've got to gamble. They've got to take some chances. And when you know that you have a specific coverage and you can get a player like an Epps or a Lofton on a one-on-one, take it.
But if the defense is thinking the same thing, you give it to your fullback and he roars for 1st downs.
But if
no, I know. That's what's so much fun about sports. 3rd and 7 at the 5. Needless to say, a very important play here for the Pack. Back into his own end zone. Throws out of there. Completes it for a first down to Eddie Lee Ivory. Covering. How's that for a comeback from the injured list? He's had knee troubles over the years. Was out with a neck injury from preseason. Makes his return today. A critical first down for the Packers.
Good presence in the pocket by Randy Wright. He was not disturbed that time. Threw a good strike out to the sidelines. Eddie Lee Ivory, good pass receiver. He picked up enough yardage for the first down. Good play by both men.
I wonder if the Bengals are starting to think they've got a football game on their hands. 2:32 remaining in the third quarter. Their lead is just 13. First down at the 16 now for the Packers. Complete to Lofton. And he nearly could have broken it. Lewis Billups had him by the legs. He nearly had it for a touchdown.
Why did he stop? Watch Lofton. One-on-one coverage now. If he takes this ball on the move, goodbye, because you won't catch Lofton. See that now? He stopped.
He saw him there, and he thought he could cut back the other way. That's why he stopped. But you're the wide receiver. I'll let you explain.
With Lofton's speed and his confidence and catching that ball on the move and running, I say go for it.
All right, James, you heard the man. First and 10 at the 35. Inside of 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Packers now moving the ball. Field to Ellerson. He has room. First down at midfield and into Cincinnati territory goes Gary Ellerson before Ross Browner finally drags him down. So check the points going on the board elsewhere. The Packers moving the ball effectively now, Reggie. Just across midfield. First and 10, we'll call it the Cincinnati 49. How's that for a critical third down? He hits Eddie Lee Ivory, hits Lofton, Ellerson, just like that.
Sooner or later, he's going to get the big one to either Epps or Lofton. I feel it.
Well, maybe here. First down at 10 at the 49. Ellerson on the carry, heads to the outside. Ellerson butts heads down to the 44. Tough runner at 5'11", 219. David Fulcher is the man he collided with.
Good play call that time by the Green Bay Packers. They caught the Cincinnati Bengals in a zone coverage. The Bengals were moving people away from the line of scrimmage. There was no one there to contain Ellerson.
33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Green Bay won the first quarter. Cincinnati won the second quarter big, and this quarter belongs to the Packers. Back and forth we go. 2nd and 5 at the 44. And he had a first down before he was driven back. So another first down for the Packers. Breeden covering Lofton.
Lofton's closing in on Don Hudson's record.
He's got 4. One more ties the record as the gun sounds, ending the third quarter. And now the crowd has started to cheer. They've taken off the paper bags. That's the end of 3. Cincinnati 27, Green Bay 14. 188 catches between 1935 and 1945. James Lofton, 1 less than that. About to tie the record. More important for the Packers is how they've been able to turn things around here through 3 quarters as we start the 4th. Remember, this drive began 9 plays ago on their own 2-yard line. This is first down at the Cincinnati 38. Oh, look out. Fumble recovered by Cincinnati. He had Epps open, didn't want to throw because he saw the defender standing with Epps. It was Lewis Breeden, decided to keep the ball, was hit by Ross Browner, fumbled it, and Eddie Edwards recovered it. Big, big play.
Certainly not the situation where you want to take a sack or put yourself in a position as Wright did here with Ross Browner coming in from the blind side to get a turnover. And one thing the Green Bay Packers cannot afford to do with their dearth of talent and scoring ability is give up the football. And they just did it.
So Eddie Edwards with the fumble recovery from midfield on first down. James Brooks hits down to the Green Bay 45 before Randy Scott, who's having a fine game, tackled him. But I can see that play develop, Richie. He had Epps open, but he saw the defender right there, so he didn't want to throw the pass in the flat. He went back and hit from the blind side. And Lights were out.
Just inexperience by Randy Wright's part, because that's a three-step drop play. You know you don't have a lot of time, so if it's not there, throw the football away. There's a turnover ratio, which is very important in today's style of play. Green Bay at the very bottom with a -7. They just turned the football over there again. They're 0-4. You can't win if you turn it over.
2nd and 5 at the 45. Esiason throwing for Collinsworth and overthrows him at the 20. So each team has fumbled once. We've had no interceptions.
I like to go back to that turnover ratio because it seems to point out what goes on today in pro football. You saw how well Chicago is playing in their turnover ratio, one of the best in the league, and it seems like the teams with the negative turnover ratios are always the poorest football teams in the league. What it says is that you don't take care of the football yourself on offense, and you don't get it back on defense. Eddie Brown is confused now.
Esiason changing the play on 3rd and 5 at the Green Bay 45. And we had motion, and both sides point to the other end.
This play just didn't look good from the start. No one seemed to know what they were doing. Right, left side of the screen there, that's number 74,
Yeah.
Brian Blados, who's playing an outstanding football game. You have to stay error-free.
So this will back it up to 3rd and 5 at midfield. Opening minute of the 4th quarter. Cincinnati getting the turnover. And with a 13-point lead, they face an important 3rd down here themselves. They have 3 wide receivers, and James Brooks flanked out as a wide receiver as well to the near side.
Packers need pressure here, desperately on the pocket.
Hand off to Stanford Jennings. Terrific play call, and fights near to a 1st down. And we'll see where they mark the ball, but he got down close to the 40. And Chicago starting to expand that lead over Minnesota. It's 20-0 now there. No big changes on that panel. There will be an official's timeout. Look at this. Cleveland has taken the lead. That was an Ernest Biner 4-yard run with 8.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. So Cleveland finally leads in Pittsburgh, but will it hold?
Lynn, there's nothing more revolting for a defensive team to have a team 3rd and 10 and let them run and pick up a 1st down. My.
With 4 wide receivers flanked out, the inside handoff to Stanford Jennings. Sam White sends Rodney Holman in with the play. This will be 1st down for Cincinnati at the Green Bay 40 rather.
That very well could have been one of the key plays in the ball game right there.
Picked up perhaps a yard. Ryan Noble. Had that niche, and now things break out on the far side. Collinsworth's in the middle of it. Perhaps Tom Flynn for Green Bay.
It all began because of the block that Esiason threw downfield. There's nothing in the record books or the rule books that I know of that says the quarterback can't throw a block. And Noble just didn't like the fact that Esiason threw an outstanding block on him. If you don't want to be blocked, get off the field.
And that play picked up a yard on the Eddie Brown reverse. Sam White thought he would use a lot more reverses with slippery footing, but reverses and the string out plays aren't working as well as those inside passes, the shovel passes, inside handoffs. Those seem to be the plays that are working.
Yes. You don't like to handle the ball too much on a day like this.
2nd and 9 at the 39. No interceptions, the key statistic there for Size. 4 last week. Flag goes down. James Brooks heads to the outside and very close to a 1st down, and I believe he has a 1st down, but we'll have to check out the infraction. Randy Scott and Bobby Leopold coming up to force him out of bounds. Offside, Green Bay. Clock is stopped with 13 minutes and 25 seconds, and suddenly County Stadium has gotten very quiet again. He won't be quiet. That's 13:25.
Offside. Defense. Number 22. Penalty decline. First down.
So Mark Lee was the man who was offside. First down now at the Green Bay 30. It is 27-14 Cincinnati.
That's a very young football team that Forrest Gregg has. They average 3.1 years of experience, and you would expect them to be offsides and miss assignments because that's what young players do.
They keep it conservative. Johnson. Good running room. Clearly down to the 22 before Alfonso Carricker. Chubbs, they call him, made the tackle.
Carricker made the tackle.
Bill Johnson went through 6 weeks of police academy training, actually graduated from the course before he went to the USFL for a couple of years. Signed, of course, last year with the Cincinnati Bengals. Very impressive. Now he is the backup fullback to Larry Kennebrew and playing very well today.
Kennebrew again out with the ankle injury, and Johnson has played well in this play. 2nd and 2 at the 22 as Eddie Brown goes in motion. James Brooks. First down. Brooks fights to the 15. What a ball game James Brooks has had this afternoon. John Dorsey finally made the tackle.
I don't think the linebackers can find Brooks. Watch this. Brooks now disappears amongst that mass of humanity that is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, and then the next thing you know, push, he's right into your face, and he picks up 5, 6, 7 yards just on the blocks of the offensive lineman. And you know, once you spring him, he's dangerous on his own.
A 100-yard afternoon for James Brooks. He's also scored 2 touchdowns and caught that pretty shovel pass in the first half as well. Brooks down at the 15. Johnson, no gain. Brooks has a pretty decent shot at game MVP if things hold up here, I would say. Robert Brown in on the tackle.
Brown and Milw made the tackle.
Clock continues to run inside of 12 minutes remaining now in the 4th quarter. Cincinnati scored all 27 of its points in the 2nd quarter. Green Bay with 7 in the 1st, 7 in the 3rd. Robert Brown, right end, VPI. His 5th year.
Speaking of James Brooks, you'll recall that he came to the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago in a trade, former first-round draft choice of the San Diego Chargers, for none other than Pete Johnson.
That's right. Little guy for a big guy. It's a funny trade. Eddie Brown.
Good
Touchdown,
play.
Bengals. 15 yards. Esiason to Brown.
Outstanding extra effort by Eddie Brown, exhibiting his trademark, which is the action begins after the catch. Here's Esiason tall in the pocket. Gets Brown right there. Now look at the running ability there. Had 2 Packers draped around him, and yet got his 185-pound body into the end zone for his first touchdown of the day.
And the 3rd touchdown pass from Boomer Esiason to go to the 2 that James Brooks has rushing. And it's 33-14 Bengals, and as Ken Anderson will hold for Jim Breach, they will try to extend it to 34. And Breach nails it. So the Randy Wright fumble recovered by Eddie Edwards sets up the 15-yard touchdown pass from Boomer Esiason to Eddie.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
So Packer fans enduring the rain and a 20-point deficit with 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Jim Breach will tee it up and kick it away to Green Bay, which that fumble really hurt them on the last series. They had a chance to move in and crawl within 6. Turns around, and instead Cincinnati goes up by 20. Big turnaround right there, completed by the 15-yard touchdown pass. Esiason to Eddie Brown.
That's the strength, of course, Len, as you know, of the Cincinnati offense. Diversification of receivers. They throw to a number of people. They've probably hit about 6 or 7 people already today. Different receivers.
Stills, a defensive back at the 9. Holds the ball dangerously in one hand, but busts it out across the 30, and then a flag is thrown in on late in the play. Holding Packers.
What's that saying? When it rains, it pours.
Well, it's doing it at County Stadium.
Stop right there. Holding. On the return, number 54, first down.
Jeff Shue, the former Bengal. And Chicago, 58-yard pass play. Jim McMahon and Keith Ortego. That's why they're up 20-0. This will be first down for the Packers as they start at their 21. Cleveland continues to lead. Ellerson in motion. Looking for Lofton. Bounced off his chest, intercepted, and a flag is thrown. Carl Zander picked it off on the deflection.
They may get Lewis Billups for interference here. He looked like he played right through Lofton's.
Pass interference against the Bengals. That takes away Zander's second interception of the year. Lewis Billups, the rookie second-round draft choice from Northern Alabama.
Billups had outstanding coverage on Lofton. Lofton had to slow down a little bit. It wasn't a very good pass by Randy Wright.
Pass interference. Defense. First down.
Now that type of pass you want thrown out in front of the receiver so he can run to it. You could see the left arm of Billups draped around Lofton's back while the right arm deflected the pass. That's a pass interference call. You cannot play through the receiver to the ball.
So first down for Green Bay at their 37.
They've got Billups all alone on Lofton.
And Wright going for Lofton.
Great.
Gets
feet.
both feet down to tie Don Hudson's all-time Packer record. And what a maneuver by Lofton to accomplish the tie right there.
This matchup won't work for Cincinnati. They'll let them get back into the game right in a hurry. Watch Billups. Watch the great move now. Stop. Billups thinks he's going deep. Lofton, watch both feet. 1, 2. Excellent camera work. Good catch, James Lofton. He ties Don Hudson's record, 488 receptions. A marvelous athlete James Lofton has been since he was drafted #1 out of Stanford.
First down at the 47. Packers are in Cincinnati territory thanks to that Lofton catch. Wright going deep on the far side for Epps. And Breeden came back in to nearly pick it off. Incomplete goes the pass on the far side. Breeden covering a speedy Philip Epps.
Speedy is the right word. This guy is faster than fast.
Breeden nearly got it there, Rick.
Yeah. Louis Breeden is an outstanding one-on-one coverer in the open field. He's as good as that, as anybody in professional football. The Cincinnati corners have great ability. They just don't get the kind of pass rush that maybe the Raiders or the Bears get. 2nd and 10
at the 47. Leader quarterback has thrown an interception. Last one was negated by a penalty. Right, looking for Ellerson. That one is picked off by Barney Bussey. His first professional touchdown in the NFL. And Bussey brings it back to the 40.
I don't believe Randy Wright even believed Ellerson could make that catch. He threw this ball up and away. He's being queried about why he threw the ball right now. Watch lower left-hand corner of your screen. Does this man look like he's open? He's covered as well as you can cover anybody. Randy Wright should not have thrown the football there. Now Bussey's saying, get out of my way, man. Let me run.
Right. Bussey played in the USFL out of South Carolina State. Has himself an NFL interception now in Cincinnati with the ball at their 39. We still have 10 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the game. Cincinnati already leads by 20. Hand off to Brooks. Heads to the outside. This time he is dragged down by the shirt tails by John L. Sullivan, the rookie from California, Berkeley.
Sullivan made the tackle.
And a few words between Sullivan and Brooks.
If you think James Brooks is intimidated by a few words, you're mistaken. At his size and the kind of load that he carries, you know he's a tough hombre.
Loss of 3 will be 2nd and 13. Back to the 36. And do you think Forrest Gregg will stay with Chuck Fusina? No, he won't go to him, huh?
Well, I'd get him in the game. I want to take a look at what he can do. Certainly got nothing to lose.
Brooks goes to the far side. And he's tripped up again for another loss. Back to the 35 for a loss of 1. So Brooks is moving backwards, although time is running off the clock down to 9:30.
That's the key. That's why they're running the sweeps. Sweeps take longer to run than any other play. By the time the players get back to the huddle, you've run off another 25, 30 seconds, and that's what Esiason is doing now. He's attacking the clock.
Some of the fans are heading out. 9:15 remaining. This is a third, about 14.
I think he'll keep it on the ground.
From the 35. Just as you said it, Reg. And there's a sack. Alfonso Carricker. The last one was that he had early in the game was called back by a holding penalty. Not this time. Carricker gets his sack, his first.
I thought 3rd and long like this, they would put it on the ground, eat up some more time on that clock, punt the ball and play defense, but Esiason got a little greedy there, and Carricker got the sack.
So Hayes will punt for only the 3rd time this afternoon. So the interception does not cost Green Bay. Walter Stanley is deep for Green Bay. Taking time off the 30-second clock. Hayes gets a pretty good punt away. Back at the 39, Walter Stanley. Stanley to midfield. Stanley down the near side. And it was the punter who knocked him out of bounds.
Forrest Gregg a year ago said that Stanley would probably make a contribution because of his outstanding ability in the open field. He's an excellent punt runner, kickoff returner, and an exciting player. Once again, saved by the punter, Jeff Hayes. Stanley having an outstanding year in all aspects.
And the Packers carrying on a love-hate relationship with their fans. Every time the fans start to boo, they pull out a big play, and now they're cheering again. 1st down and 10 at the Cincinnati 14. We still have 8:26 remaining, but Caruth goes nowhere, and Ross Browner, rodeo style, tackles him.
All you're doing right there is wasting time. Get back to the huddle, get the football down the field, conserve time on the clock. If you're interested in winning, you've got to throw the football.
No gain on the play. That was a 42-yard punt and a 50-yard return. Exciting play for Walter Stanley. Forrest Gregg ponders a 2nd and 10 at the 14. So you see the clock is now inside 8 minutes. Remember, it's dangerous to pass at the far side because the stands come right up to the end of the end zone. And Wright is sacked by Eddie Edwards. And now the cheers have turned to boos again.
Indecision once again. Randy Wright has to learn to get rid of the ball down here if you don't have anything. You cannot hold the football because you know that the pressure is going to get to you after a while.
3rd Bengals sack on the afternoon. Pushed back to the 20-yard line. 3rd and 16. The clock still running with 7:20 remaining. Wright throws to nobody. Nobody was there, and it's intercepted, and the flag is thrown. Bobby Kemp with the pickoff. Bring back Lynn Dickey. I don't know about that one. They may go after Doug Flutie. Chuck Fusina is in uniform but hasn't played today.
The Cincinnati, that's Chuck Fusina.
Fusina.
Maybe they're telling him get ready because Randy Wright is down. He may be forced into action. And of course, he's going to be cheered just simply because he comes into the football game.
And this interception may be negated by that flag. Let's try to pick up the call of our referee today, Dick Hantak.
Holding. Defense. Number 20. First down.
Ray Horton. So instead of an interception, the drive is kept alive. The penalty called on Ray Horton.
Let's see if we can find Ray Horton on the left
See if
side.
you can find a wide receiver.
Well,
anywhere,
you
too.
can see the altercation occurring at about the 10-yard line. That is apparently where they caught Horton holding Epps.
Dan Ross it was, I believe. So it's first down at the 15. 7 minutes remaining. Green Bay needs 6.
Touchdown Lofton.
Over the middle, Lofton breaks the record on a touchdown. He's excited. For the all-time pass catcher in the long and glorious history of the Green Bay Packer franchise. Catch number 489 spells 6 points for James Lofton. Bracken will hold for Del Greco. It's good, and now with a full 7 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, Cincinnati's lead has been cut to 13. 34-21. James Lofton has a record. 9-year veteran from Stanford, and the Bengals have wide receivers and running backs up. They're expecting an onside kick from Del Greco here, Reggie. And he disappoints them. Squibb, and trouble hanging on. And finally fallen on. Tim McGee as John Simmons had a lot of trouble with him. Lofton with his 6th catch, breaking Don Hudson's all-time career Packer reception record.
James Lofton, I call him a quintessential wide receiver because he does everything well in the passing game. He catches the ball in traffic. He's an extraordinary deep threat. He blocks. Just a complete football player, and he's certainly jubilant, and I think he should be. Isn't it amazing that Don Hudson's record has stood for 41 years?
1945. So first down for Cincinnati at the 20. Packers need some defense inside of 7 minutes remaining. Bill Johnson with the carry, and they stop him after a 5-yard gain. Johnson is tough to bring down. Now some finals coming in. New England has beaten Miami. Raiders continue to lead Kansas City. Chicago has shut out Minnesota. Washington's won their game. Atlanta is being shut out. Cleveland continues to cling to life in Pittsburgh. And Detroit has defeated Houston. Now they are starting the late games around the NFL. No scores in Denver or the Meadowlands or in San Francisco or in Anaheim.
There's a player down on the field then.
It is Bill Johnson, the man who carried the last ball.
Larry Kennebrew is available if absolutely necessary. I think that he's going to come into the football game now.
Kennebrew comes on the field gingerly. Skies have started to clear a bit. We'll take a timeout. Cincinnati on top. Clear up, put on a happy face. Packer fans hoping that they can force something here defensively and get another shot. 6:43 remaining. They are within 13 points. And Larry Kennebrew, the big load, is checked in for the first time since the first quarter of the Chicago game. He's had an ankle injury.
I would not allow Kennebrew to handle the football. He's been sitting down all game long. He'd be rusty. They would be stripping and attacking the football. I would not put the ball in his hands. Give it to Brooks.
See how gingerly he is walking, Reggie. 2nd and 5 at the 25. They gave it to him. And he fights very close to a first down. Randy Scott on the tackle. So
that's having a lot of confidence in your fullback who's been sitting down for about 3 hours. Oh, about 260 pounds or more behind some big people up front. He just plows straight ahead. Really a prototype fullback for this offense, or any other offense for that matter. If you've got a guy that's his size and can run and do the things athletically that he can do.
3rd and 1 at the 30. Probably give it to him again. There he goes and stumbles forward for the first down. Congratulations to the Cleveland Browns for the first time in the history of Three River Stadium. After going 16-0 in Pittsburgh, the Cleveland Browns finally come away with a win, 27-24. So if the score holds here as well, Cleveland and Cincinnati would continue to be tied for first place, both at 3-2 in AFC Central.
And I hope you don't mind if I say finally. I mean, I was in that thing 9 times and never won.
Remember the game we did there last year when it was the crowd that caused a near turnover, Bernie Kosar. Crowd noise was so much for the Cleveland quarterback, and it was a big juncture of the game and may have helped Pittsburgh win that day, but not today. The Browns have done it. Inside of 5 minutes remaining here, first down for Cincinnati, and Killebrew again. He's had a long rest, though he should be ready to go. Carricker on the stop with 4:45 remaining.
You know, you can expect the Central Division, I think, to go down to the very last day of the season. It's going to be win 1, lose 1, win 2, maybe lose 1. Cleveland and Cincinnati are that close in terms of ability and win-loss records, for that matter, at the end of the season. So it'll be interesting.
Now Killebrew will watch. He's replaced in the backfield by Stanford Jennings. 2nd and 7 at the 34. Size at the throw. Completes it to Tim McGee. McGee fights for the first down yardage. Bobby Leopold finally brought him down. Good extra effort by McGee to garner the first down for the Bengals, and the clock continues to run inside of 4 minutes now.
What an imposing proposition for opposing defenses who already have to deal with Collinsworth, Brown, Brooks and company. Now to have realized that now they're beginning to feature their #1 draft choice, Tim McGee, a little bit more in their offense. Just that much more versatility for the Cincinnati Bengals.
James Brooks had 100 yards. Well, when he ran those 2 sweeps and lost some yardage, he's now down to 96. So McGee goes in motion. Let's see if they give it to Brooks to get 100. Well, picks up a couple on that play, so he's probably up to about 98 yards now in a day. John Dorsey making the stop. And there's the AFC Central. If Cincinnati wins here, they and Cleveland will open up daylight on Houston and Pittsburgh. Well, Houston would be better than 1-4 at this point. Pittsburgh as well. Now down to 3 minutes and counting. Ball's at the 45. 2nd down and 8. Cincinnati would be content to just run it, keep it simple, and let it go down to the 2-minute warning as quickly as possible. Brooks won't get to 100 yards on that play. Maybe lost the yard on that one. Carricker on the stop. 2:35 remaining. Still not over in Kansas City, but the Raiders lead by 7. Giants lead winless St. Louis. Cleveland wins in Pittsburgh, and in the late games, no scores yet on any of the late games. And Green Bay is taking 3rd down and 8 for Cincinnati. And incomplete, intended for Collinsworth on the far side with Mosi Cade covering. That play only took 4 seconds, so the clock is stopped with 2:23 left, and the punting unit comes on for Cincinnati. Very handsome fellows. They're a pack sack.
Do you know what a 2-bagger is?
Right there. A double. It's a double in baseball. Let's not get into that. Jeff Hayes to punt away. And punts it. Well, the ball stays inbounds, and it's down by the Bengals at the 21. So with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, the Packer offense comes on the field once again. Once again, it will be Randy Wright at quarterback. They're in the situation of looking for miracles. The ball is spotted at the 24. A big 27-point second quarter for the Bengals. 2 touchdown passes to Chris Collinsworth. 2 touchdown runs by James Brooks. And the strength of those 27 points They have this 34-21 lead with 2:13 left for Randy Wright and the Packers.
This is Bilger's stat time now. Bengals going to be playing loose defense, and Packers need to throw the football.
Epps in motion. Looking for Lofton. He's got him. Billups falls down. Lofton trying to break free and gets all the way up to the 48. And that'll bring up the 2-minute warning. So a good gainer. Right to Lofton. 24-yard gain, and with 2 minutes remaining in regulation, we've reached the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati leads Green Bay 34-21.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1985. Hard luck Tampa Bay fights back to take a fourth quarter 27-24 lead over the Rams on a perfect Steve DeBerg strike. Moments later, DeBerg throws another strike right down the middle, but to Ram cornerback Leroy Irvin, who weaves his way into the end zone. The Rams sink the Bucs 31-27.
Lucky County Stadium, where the sun is doing a cameo appearance finally in Beertown. We have 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati holding on to the 34-21 lead over the Green Bay Packers, but Lofton setting the record and more today, picking up his 7th reception. Last one good for 24 yards out to the Packer 48. Next week, Cincinnati will host Pittsburgh in a Monday night game. And Green Bay will get to host Detroit back at Lambeau Field. Green Bay got some touchdowns. They had only 2 touchdowns on the year coming into today's game and picked up 3 today. So they have to feel a little bit better about things, even if they lose their 5th straight. So the Packers trailing by 13, 2 minutes remaining. Their 48. Randy Wright calling out signals. Usually to see who will be the quarterback next week. Wright to Phil Epps. Epps bounces off a tackler and heads to the outside. Epps could go all the way. What a run by Philip Epps out of bounds at the 5. For an 0-4, perhaps 0-5 football team, they turn in some exciting plays.
You have to wonder about an offense that allows a Philip Epps to be on the football field, and you don't do these kinds of things to get the football in his hands. Here's the fastest player or the fastest receiver in pro football, and he hasn't touched the football until the waning minutes of the football game. I don't understand it.
Bounced off Ray Horton. Ball marked at the 5 with 1:48 to go. If the fans are leaving, I don't know why. Quick touchdown on an onside kick. Certainly within the realm of possibility. You're not looking at a major miracle here. You're looking at a possibility. Epps in motion. Right over the middle. Found Epps, but shy, and Wright says keep on going. No timeout taken. 1:35 to go.
All passes, Lynn, need to be thrown into the end zone at this point. You don't need to throw any of the delay kind of passes. Throw it into the end zone.
Looking for Lofton and overthrowing. And this will set up 3rd down from the 3. 1:26 to go.
Timeouts.
So Randy Wright looking over to the sideline for some guidance from Forrest Gregg. Play signaled into him. Ball at the 3-yard line.
Green Bay has 1 timeout remaining, so they won't want to expend it now.
And of course, we'll go for it if this play is unsuccessful.
Ellison would be my choice.
Ruth in motion. Wright rolls out, looking for Dan Ross, and he completed it, but short of the end zone. Yes, clock continues to run. 1:15 to go. It was completed to the former Bengal, Dan Ross, and now
Sure that he is in touchdown territory.
The sun breaks out with 1:12 to go. 4th and inches. Right, pleading for quiet. Ellerson. Second effort. Perhaps no signal from the official yet. Bengals thought they had him stopped. The Packer touchdown is the call.
My, oh my. What took him so long to make the call? And what a gamble by Forrest Gregg to run the football just then. It appeared that the Bengals were waiting for him.
And Sam Weitz wants his team to take a timeout. Perhaps he thinks that a replay would show otherwise and wants to take a timeout so the replay official can take a look at it.
Very good, Lynn. He told us he would do that if he had to.
Timeout. Cincinnati.
Of course, he doesn't need any more timeouts. So he's taking one. And of course, that will allow the people upstairs to take a look at this play again.
You know what he's signaling? He's signaling perhaps some of the Packers helped him in from behind, which would be illegal. He's definitely stopped on the first effort.
Bang. Good contact right there. Ellison is clearly stopped.
Ooh, number 65. Oh, who is that?
And you can see Ron Holstrom, number 65, aiding the runner,
right.
and that is illegal.
So Sam Weitz perhaps hoping that the replay official would think that that would be inconclusive and would buzz the men on the field and then tell them by walkie-talkie that they didn't like the call, and perhaps.
But the replay officials cannot make a call unless it's possession or touching. So this is out of the realm of what he is authorized to do. Good hit by Simpkins right there. Now watch the spinning. You'll see Ron Holstrom, number 65, push the runner into the end zone. You cannot do that.
Tom Neville also helped. But I think that would be within the realm of the official because it deals with the goal line. Interesting. Replay official would have to think that's an inconclusive call.
What a heads-up coach Sam Weitz is at times like that, though, because
that's why he took the timeout right here,
exactly.
So that the replay official could take a good hard look and discuss it if he thought there was something to indicate to the on-the-field officials.
You really have to have your head in the football game to make a call like that just in, as Weitz did, knowing full well what the rules are in regards to the use of the instant replay mechanism.
And the officials are talking on the walkie-talkie. Forrest Gregg looking intently.
There was a game sometime back where William the Refrigerator Perry did that same thing with Walter Payton.
Picked up Walter Payton and said, hey, I was just helping my friend.
You cannot put your hands on the ball carrier if you are a blocker to aid him in his movement.
And the walkie-talkie is being used. The touchdown has been indicated that it will stand. We will listen to the official now. But Sam Weitz was smart.
After further review by the instant replay, the play stands. Touchdown.
Well, the official replay, Paul Trapinski, thought it was either inconclusive or not within his realm of jurisdiction.
Remember, indisputable visual evidence is the guideline.
Sam Weitz called the timeout to give him that opportunity. A smart coach is he. Now with 1 minute remaining, Del Greco's kick is good, and the Packers are within 6 points at 34-2.
They're coming this way, right at Collinsworth.
And it's fielded by the Bengals cleanly, and that should enable them to easily run out the clock and walk away with a tough victory. It was Stanford Jennings who fielded the ball cleanly. Now Esiason will come on the field, and his only duty will be to kneel on the ball. Philadelphia has shut out undefeated Atlanta 16-0. The score there. What about the Green Bay quarterback situation for next week?
Well, Randy Wright has had some success. He threw the ball well in the second half. I think that Forrest Gregg will go with Wright again. If for no other other reason, Len, than to allow Fusina to grasp this offense, get familiar with what the Green Bay Packers are trying to do, and just get his feet on the ground. There is Fusina.
So James Lofton sets the all-time Packer receiving record, his 489th catch, surpassing Don Hudson's record. But the Green Bay Packers will go 0-5, and for the first time in their long and glorious history, they are winless through 5 games. Just 27 seconds to go now. And that'll do it. They do not have to run off another play. So on the strength of 3 Boomer Esiason touchdown passes and 2 James Brooks touchdown runs, the coach who succeeded the other one, Weich and Gregg, shake hands. The Cincinnati Bengals stay tied for first place in the AFC Central with the Cleveland Browns at 3-2, and they see their 20-point